Hi everyone. So in this video we will be focusing on the first unit in your biology resource book that is there for the GCE advanced level. So if I focus on the main important sections of this unit, you will be focusing on the cell biology, which you would be studying about the cells in your body, and then if you take anatomy and physiology, you would be focusing on the gross structure of the body and its functions. And then if you go to the human genetics, there you would be studying about the inheritance, which is a very interesting section. And then histology, which is the study of tissues in your body, and ecology, the study of the surrounding or the environment, and finally biochemistry, which is the studying of the biological molecules. So, all these sections of this unit would be very useful when you study the biological concepts. So, now let's go to the next section, which we would be focusing on the organisms and its evolution. So, as you all know, that there are billions of organisms that are there today. However, if you take the very first organism that is considered to be believed which appeared on Earth first was the heterotrophic anaerobic prokaryotes. So that's one of the most important points that you can focus on when you answer questions. And then if you go to the next section, you would be focusing on the diseases and its causes. So here you will be talking about the non-communicable diseases as well as the communicable diseases. So over here I have extracted some of the important points that you can consider from your book. So over here they're focusing on a few diseases, which is AIDS, cancer, and chronic renal disease. So if you take AIDS is actually a viral disease nowadays because it's rising as a common health concern across this world. And then if you take the cancer is also a very deadly disease that one can get. So over here, it is mainly related to some of the cells, and then over here, it is also considered as a common cause for most of the deaths in this world today. However, there are treatments to reduce the risk for the patients that are diagnosed with these cancers, different types of cancers. It can be breast cancer, ovarian cancers, brain cancers. There are several cancers. So you can further read on these to get a good understanding on what are the causes and what are the possible treatments, and also you can go through some of the statistical data that are related to cancer around the world. And then I would be focusing on the chronic renal disease, which is in Sri Lanka a very common disease that you can come across in cities like Kurunagala and etc. And then when we consider where is this biology is applied when solving problems in day-to-day life, it is actually a very important concept that we should focus on. So when we need to focus some of the legal issues or ethical issues, biology would help us to deal these issues. So as you all know that DNA fingerprinting is commonly used to deal with these issues. So if you want to take a parenting testing, you can take this DNA fingerprinting, and also if you want to find out a criminal investigation, you can also use DNA fingerprinting, and then to solve some immigration issues, DNA fingerprinting is also used at the embassies. And then we will be going through the next most important section of this unit, which is the understanding of the characteristics of organisms. So over here, If I focus on the understanding of the characteristics of organisms, you can see that order and organization is one of the most important characteristics when you talk about organisms. It is actually because you can see that from the small molecular level to the biosphere, which is there in the world, there is a specific order and organization in organisms in order to perform some of the biological activities, chemical activities in their body. And then next comes the next important characteristic, which is the metabolism. So over here, all the chemical activities that take place in an organism is considered as metabolism. So it includes both catabolic and anabolic reactions. And then if you go to the third characteristic, which is the adaptation, you can see that over here adaptation is also very important because it it actually consists of very important parts that are very important for a certain organism in order to behave, in order to adapt to the changes that occur in the environment. So over here, next important one is growth and development. So as you all know that all organisms, they have a certain pattern of or the stages of growth and development in their lifespan. So it can be a single cell or a multiple cell organism. And then there are changes that occur which are irreversible, which means you cannot change it. It is not reversible at all. And then over here, we are also focusing on the reproduction because reproduction is one of the important characteristics of living things. And irritability and coordination is also important, as you all know that irritability is the ability to respond to the stimuli from both internal and external environments, which means you can respond to the changes that occur. And then the movement of organisms that occur as a result of irritability is and coordination. So, in animals, that this happens as a result of coordinated efforts of the nervous system, hormonal system, and the muscular or the skeletal systems. So, a combination of these would occur in order to perform irritability and coordination. And then finally, you can go to the next important section, which is heredity and evolution. So, organisms have genes that passes from a certain generation to the next generation, and, and it consists of certain physiological, morphological, and also other characteristics of organisms. So, ability of the organisms to change over time is known as evolution. So, that's the end of this video as we summarize all the important points that are there and that you should focus on the first unit of your advanced level bio resource book. Thank you.